Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Remotely Unique with Mary Baca, only on LA Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, LA Talk Radio listeners. This is actually Candace Thomas, and I am guest hosting for Mary Baca on her Remotely Unique show since she couldn't be on today's show. So today we're going to talk about manifesting. It's a follow-up for those who were able to tune in last week to manifesting fact or fiction. So manifesting was very much a fact, as Mary and I talked about last week, and this week I'm just going to carry it forward to get into more details about the 5 steps of manifesting, as well as taking calls when people are, if you have anything that you're struggling with manifesting, or if you just wanted to share some manifestation stories, and I'll let you know when we are taking calls. But first, I thought I'd just talk a little bit about myself. So again, I'm Candace Thomas, and I'm an intuitive coach and psychic medium. So what I consider myself to be when I say an intuitive coach is I teach people how to use their own intuition to manifest the lives that they desire. Primarily, I work with entrepreneurs, business owners who are looking to go to a higher level of success within their business. So oftentimes, as an entrepreneur or business owner, you hear, trust your gut. You just have to follow your intuition. But a lot of people are unclear about what that means. And that's not just with business. That's with anything that all of us have heard all of our lives. Oh, just trust your gut. But we're not really shown how to do that. Or we are, but we don't relate, we don't understand the information that we're receiving. So I wasn't always an intuitive coach or a psychic medium professionally, though I was born a psychic medium. So psychic mediumship, my definition is it's just the ability to consciously connect with other energies outside of myself. So for example, I'm able to bring through messages from people who have died and crossed over. I'm also able to tune into the energy of people, places, and situations around me. And from the energy, I can see into probable future. So more likely than not, this will happen, or that would happen, or this other thing will happen. So again, it wasn't like the movie The Sixth Sense, where I came out of the womb and I'm seeing dead people everywhere. It was not like that at all. And as a matter of fact, I didn't actually know I had any type of intuitive ability at all until I was in my late 20s, and I had been working for the federal government as an accountant and financial analyst for about 10 years. So the reason why I mention this is so many people think that mediumship or psychic ability or intuition is so far removed from their situation, or that it's really weird or scary. And last week I was talking to Mary about movies like Paranormal Activity kind of don't make it nice for people or give them a positive reason to want to be intuitive or to be more psychic in their gifts and abilities, because it's always portrayed as something scary. But actually, intuition, and everyone is intuitive. If I can do it, you can certainly do it. Everyone is intuitive, and everyone has the ability to be psychic for themselves. And it's a myth. Sometimes you'll hear other professional healers or psychics say, oh, you can't be psychic for yourself. And I'm just going to call BS on that, because that's the whole purpose of intuition. It's supposed to be guiding us forward to avoid challenges and conflicts and helping us create the lives that we want. So the secret to manifesting what you desire, and I'll go over the 5 actual steps that I give to my clients, but the secret to manifesting what you desire is to really become more intuitive, to honor that part of you that truly knows what's in your highest and best interest, even when other people are telling you, don't trust yourself, don't believe that, that's weird, you can't do that. So, and I'm going through this really fast because I want to make sure that we have enough time to get calls later when we're ready. But certainly there's more information about me, what I do, and how I work with clients available on my website, which is www.candicethomasintuitive.com. And I'm also on Facebook, Candace Thomas Intuitive, and on Twitter as well as Candace Intuitive. All right, perfect. So let's just dive right in to the 5 steps of manifesting. And it's so interesting how I back to intuitive coaching, how I came up with the 5 steps is when I first discovered that I was a psychic medium, I was in denial for an additional 2 years. So here I am in my late 20s, and I'm sitting at my cubicle as this accountant, and it was soul crushing. I hated my job. I really felt like I meant to be doing something else, but how do I get out of this situation? And it wasn't like there was anything wrong with the job. I was actually making a lot of money. I worked with some really cool people. I was doing something that was important, but there was still a part of me that was not satisfied. And I mention this because so many people are walking around in a fog or trying to make themselves happy or cope with a situation that they really don't want to be in. So when my intuitive gifts and abilities really opened, they came back with a vengeance while I was in my federal career. I kind of didn't trust that either. It's like, oh, I always said I will do anything if only I knew what it was. Well, then Spirit showed me, oh, you're meant to be helping people with your gift of psychic mediumship. And I was like, no, thank you. I think I'll just stick to accounting. And part of the reason for that was a fear of I'm already weird enough, right? So anyone who's really sensitive to energy, you already know the score. You've probably felt like an outsider or an outcast. And really successful people, it's the same, where there's just something driving you and pushing you that other people don't relate to. And so when I started embracing my psychic gift and ability, I didn't just leave my job. I was an accountant by day and a psychic by night. And I was doing fortune teller readings is how I started off. Fortune teller readings meaning a person would come see me or call me and ask questions like, hey, will I be rich? Will I get the job that I want? Will I get married? And I would go, yes, you will. No, you won't. Give some time frames around it. And depending on what I said, I started noticing that people would react accordingly. So if I said, no, you're not going to get that thing you really want that you've always dreamed about, the person would be devastated. If I said, yes, you're totally going to get that thing that you've always dreamed about, the person was then really motivated and would take action. And it really was upsetting because it was people, I was consciously realizing people are giving me their power. If they can really achieve their dreams or not, it became about, well, what does the psychic say? Does the psychic say I can do it? Because if so, I can. And if the psychic says I can't, then there were 2 reactions. One was, F you, I'm going to do it anyway. Or, oh my God, the psychic said I couldn't do it, so I guess it's true. I'm not going to be able to do it. Everything changed for me when I had a client who asked if they were going to marry their current boyfriend. And what Spirit showed me was 2 answers. I saw clearly yes, and I saw a no. And it freaked me out because who wants to go to a psychic that says, well, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Thank you. I'll take my money, please. Right? But it changed my life because I told the client, I fessed up. I'm seeing both results. I'm seeing both outcomes. As I said that, I clearly saw if my client took steps, certain action steps, and really got serious about, and it wasn't about making her boyfriend do something. It was about if this client took specific action steps, claimed responsibility, took care of herself, got some emotional healing and help, then the answer would be yes. And if she didn't, if she stayed on her current track, the answer would be no. So that blew my mind. It shook everything I understood about fate and destiny and what a person's allowed to have and manifesting to a whole nother level. And I started changing the questions that my clients were asking me. So if a client came and said, well, will I get rich or will I be successful? I would flip it around to, okay, how does this person achieve their goal? How does this person reach that level of success? Changing from will this happen to me to how can I make this happen is so powerful. So no matter what you decide in your manifestation adventures today, I just really challenge you to look for where are you giving your power away to someone else? Doesn't even have to be a psychic, but how many times have you been asking advice about things you really want to do of your friends or your family members or your coworkers who don't understand? They don't even understand why you're still talking about it for years and years and years, who don't have good feedback or advice to give, and you believe it the same way that clients were coming to me and believing whatever I said, yes or no. This really shaped and changed how I gave readings, and that's why I call myself an intuitive coach. I don't tend to give traditional fortune teller psychic readings. I tend to give sessions, intuitive sessions, where clients say, hey, this is what I want to experience. How do I get there? And then Spirit will actually download, here are the steps to take. Here's the information. Here's what you can do. Here's what your big picture soul purpose came to experience. And now, what do you want to do within your soul purpose? What choices do you want to make? What would you like to experience? Once a client gets clear, it's like, okay, great. It just starts coming in. Perfect. This is the next step. This is the next step. This is the next step. When I started working with clients in that way, I started noticing that my clients got results. It wasn't just, oh, let's just talk about it and you feel good for 2 seconds and nothing happens, but they actually began to manifest the things that they were asking about, which is not to say that, oh, they met with me one time and then the stars moved, the heavens parted, and they got exactly what they want. It took a period of time, and they had to be really consistent in the actions that they were taking and really consistent and trusting and following their own intuitive guidance. So even when clients meet with me, I always say that you always have to trust what you feel, what resonates with you, more than what anyone else says, including me. So this brings us to, as I observed what was working for my clients, the clients that were seeing these magnificent results, it was the same 5 steps over and over and over, which I'll talk to you about right now. And then if there are people who are on the line, we'll move into taking any calls with anyone who has questions about manifesting, or if you'd like to do some on-the-spot intuitive coaching and just need help breaking through whatever challenge or situation you're experiencing. And again, what's popping into my head is it feels like there are people who have really cool stories about manifesting. And if you have a really cool, unbelievable story, please do share it, so that will help other listeners today. But the 5 steps of manifesting are, number 1, you have to set clear intentions. So that means, again, it's not about what your mom thinks you should have, or your dad, or your coworkers, or what's expected of you and your family, or your friends. It's what do you really want to experience? And really being honest about that, even if it seems impossible. Once you are really clear about what you want to experience, step 2 is to connect with Spirit. So within connecting with Spirit, that means, and I'm sure you've read this before, seen it before, or heard it before, you really have to visualize what you want your experience to be. So once you set those intentions, excuse me, it's really becoming ultra clear about what that would look like, what that would sound like, what that would feel like, even what it would taste and smell like. And if you're not sure, you make it up. What would you want your dream life to be? What would you want your dream career to be? What kind of experience do you want to have? And when you're sitting in the energy of your intentions, really visualizing what you would like to experience, you're connecting with Spirit. Spirit being your spirit, your higher self, and your soul. You came here on purpose. You came here to manifest and create. You didn't come here to stay stuck in a karmic cycle or pay for something that you did in a past life. You came to really create something for yourself. And your desires, the things that you've always wanted, are hints from your soul about, hey, this is what I actually came to Earth to experience this time around. So when I say connecting with Spirit, and if there's time, we'll go through an exercise today. If not, on last week's show, I walked everyone through an exercise about how to connect with Spirit and your divine vision. But you're really going to accept that you're a Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, all good. But there's a greater spiritual aspect of you that came to create and experience more than just the day-to-day that we always experience. So when you're in that space, when you're feeling the divine flow of your divine vision, then step 3 is you ask Spirit, which is you, your soul self, your higher self, you ask for guidance. And that means you literally say, okay, well, what do I do next to manifest this vision? And then pay attention to what comes into your awareness. So you might see something, meaning you might have an image that comes to mind change. You might remember something that you've seen before on television. You might hear something. You might hear a name. You might hear a song. You might, again, have a memory of hearing something. You also might just have a knowing or a feeling that's not really attached to a vision or something that you hear. And I was just speaking with someone who they're a very strong smeller, so they got very specific smells that reminded them of being in certain specific places. So those are just some of the ways that when you ask the question, okay, well, what's my next step here, you will receive information, and you will receive it every single time. What happens is people don't trust the information that they receive, and this is building and flexing your intuitive muscle. And the reason why people don't trust it is because it comes so quickly and so easily that people will discount it and think that they are making it up. So when you're connecting with Spirit and you ask Spirit for guidance, which is the step 3, asking Spirit for guidance, what do I do next? Trust your very first impression, whether that's a knowing, a feeling, and sometimes it's really clear and specific, like go to this mall or talk to this person and do this thing. And other times it's just a strong, overwhelming knowing and feeling, again, like a gut feeling. And you just have this knowing of this is what I need to do. Sometimes the next step to take is to let go of fear. And people will discount things like that because they think, well, that's not helpful. Duh, I know it. But there's a difference between duh, I know it, and actually taking an action step or moving forward in a way that will really help you. So the 4th step is once you receive intuitive guidance from Spirit, your Spirit, it's to do what Spirit told you to do. So I don't know how many times, and I was notoriously guilty of this myself, how many times I would get a clear image or a clear message from Spirit, and then I would go, okay, if that was a sign, give me a sign. Okay, if that was a sign, give me a sign. Okay, if that was a sign, give me a sign. And by the time everything is said and done, if there was a break in the chain where I didn't get whatever sign that validated the previous 4, I would do nothing. Well, the way that intuition works, and the way that intuition works with manifestation specifically, is when you get guidance from your Spirit about what next actions to take, you have to take them right away. You can't sit on it, you can't wait on it, because if you wait, situations may change, and you will have blocked or prevented whatever miracle or whatever change you would have seen had you taken the result. So, perfect. Yeah, in addition to following guidance from Spirit, just know that when you get information and guidance from Spirit, it doesn't mean that you're suddenly going to feel so wonderful and okay about it. It's not like, okay, great, I'm going to take this next step. I have to do public speaking, for example, and I feel so wonderful about it. Well, if you're terrified of public speaking, you're still probably going to be terrified of public speaking, even if you get an intuitive hit of, okay, you have to go stand on a stage in front of all these people. And that's the kind of thing that holds people back as well, is sometimes we think that when we're manifesting, it's all rainbows and unicorns and happy feelings, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it's white-hot terror and feelings of, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't trust, and you have to do it anyway. When you start trusting and listening to your intuitive guidance, you will start seeing that more often than not, you're right on, and Spirit doesn't lead you into a bad situation. So think of it like this. You're this soul being. You're already Spirit. Your soul is connected with a greater collective consciousness, the energy of the world. It can see everything. It knows everything. It knows the fastest way to get you where you want to go. It knows the easiest way to get you where you want to go. And for that reason, it doesn't make sense to your conscious mind all the time. And we have a tendency to then overanalyze and question our thoughts or question ourselves, when if we had just done what Spirit guided us to do, we would have been there. We would have already manifested, instead of waiting for proof or waiting for evidence or waiting for validation. And then when we don't get what we think we need, we go, oh, see, I knew I wasn't intuitive. Oh, see, I knew it didn't work, which is, it's crazy town. It's crazyville. So, and we're all guilty of it, especially me, let me tell you. So the last step in manifesting is monitoring your energy. So monitoring your energy, it goes back to what I just said about, listen, when you take those steps that Spirit gives you. It's still not going to get rid of your fears, your doubts. The worry is still going to be there, but you have to push through it anyway. You have to recognize, is this really coming from my intuition, or is this coming from my fear right now? When something says, no, hold off, slow down, don't do that, ask this other person who has no clue what they're talking about, where is that coming from? Where is that desire, that urge to get approval from someone who's not going to help you move forward on your path, or to wait, or to give up on your dreams and goals? So another part of monitoring your energy is really getting help, getting support from people who truly do have your back and your best interest at heart. And sometimes that means you have to hire someone, you have to join a group, you have to do an organization. It's not always your friends or your loved ones or your spouses that can help you move through a situation. And something that can also help with monitoring your energy, that's where going to people like therapists or counselors, that's good stuff. That's all a part of helping you monitor your energy. So you really are aware of what you're thinking, what you're really feeling, what's really going on with you at all times. There's no way that you can manifest and be completely checked out of your own life. And so many people are checked out. So many people are disconnected from what they truly desire because they don't think that they can have it. And we're all conditioned and convinced, well, no one gets what they want. But that's not true. It's really, you have to have the courage and the willingness to take responsibility for your happiness. Okay, perfect. So just to recap the 5 steps of manifesting. Number 1, set clear intentions. Number 2, visualize those intentions, connecting with Spirit. Number 3, ask Spirit for guidance. Number 4, follow the Spirit from guidance. Number 5, monitor your energy. Really be on top of, are you taking the guidance from Spirit? Are you following those actions? Or are you cowering in a corner in fear, and really being real with what you're experiencing, how you feel about it? Okay, great. So understanding that this is just tip of the iceberg. When I work with clients one-on-one, it's oftentimes not just one session, but we meet together over a series of sessions to help them move forward. But that's no problem, because even if I do meet with clients, there are some where we just meet one time, and it's about a 6-month to a year plan that they get on the action steps to take to help them move forward. But right now, I'm happy to take any calls from anyone who, if you're struggling with manifesting something in your life, or you have questions about anything I've been talking about, or if you just want to share something, please do call in. I'd love to hear from you. Our number here is 323-203-0815. So again, the call-in number here is 323-203-0815. And I just ask, if you're calling about manifesting something, to please be mindful. We don't want to do any crazy manifesting, or stalker manifesting is a better way to call it, where I really want person X to fall in love with me. How do I make this person really notice me and see me? That's kind of stalkerish. So that's the only kind of manifestation question that I probably won't answer on the call today. But please, I'd love to hear from you if you have anything that you want to look at or have questions about. So while we're waiting for callers to call in, again, the number is 323-203-0815. I thought I would just go into some quick information on a little deeper level about how to recognize and understand intuition, because it is a great component of how you manifest. Oh, we have a caller. Okay, patch them through. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, who is this?
Hello. My name is Loriana.
Hi, Loriana. How are you?
I'm good. Is this Candace?
Yes, it is Candace.
Okay.
What can I help you with today?
Well, I was listening to the show, and I listened to the show last week, and I want to tell you that a lot of things that you're saying are really hitting home for some things that are happening with me, and intuition and manifesting. And it's just a really nice confirmation for me to know that I'm headed down that path, and I'm trying to develop it more.
Right.
So I guess I had questions written down. You had mentioned earlier about you had somebody who came to you and was asking you about a relationship and whether or not she would marry her boyfriend. And you had given her what you saw as far as, if you do, or you saw the yes and no. Where does of course she has free will, but where does free will play into that on her boyfriend's part?
Right. That's a great question. So, and that's different from that stalkerish energy, because the information wasn't about, okay, he's going to do this and this and this. It was all about her and what she needed to do emotionally and physically and taking care of herself. And so in that particular situation, I clearly saw that the other person was invested in the relationship, but there was something within her that was rejecting it. So for her particular circumstance, that's how I was able to see and work with. It wasn't intruding upon the divine free will. It really was all about her and her issue with receiving, which a lot of people have. They have issues with receiving because we don't feel like we're good enough. Except for, like Kanye West. Kanye West definitely feels like he's good enough, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can all learn from Kanye West, let me tell you. So that's a really, really great question. And I know in relationships overall, a lot of times people will try to ask questions about, how do I get this other person to come around or do what I want? And ultimately, it really is like we tell kids, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. You have to bring the energy back to self and focus on what is in you that's accepting this energy. What is within you that you feel like you're missing and trying to get out of this other person?
Right. Okay. Also, let's see. I'm sorry. I'm guessing, there's times. Is there ever times that there's a direction that is given to you that may not be of benefit to your client? I mean, like it's going to be basically what I'm thinking is it's going to be a hard road. Or there's something that is not going to be, whatever direction they're told to take is not going to be always, flowers and roses and you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, does that ever happen where it's not like...
Oh my God, yeah. It happens. So usually what happens is a person's like, I just want to have it now. What do I have to do to get this manifested in my life right now? And then we have to have real talk. Well, if you want this to manifest right now, you're going to have to leave your job that you're so comfortable with, like today. And depending on where a person is, they're going to be willing to do that or not willing to do that because energetically they're not ready. When we move through old pain or old limiting beliefs to manifesting what we truly desire, sometimes there's this sense that your whole life just explodes, everything falls apart. So people would like to move at super accelerated lightning speed, but that means that you have to really let go of so much that you're accustomed to and comfortable with. So most of the time it's not a matter of, I'm giving this action step that's going to destroy a person's life or something. It's more about spirit recognizes the energy of where they're at and gives little baby steps. And baby steps are the unsexy things. So instead of quitting this job that you hate, it's okay, well, we're going to start like this. We're going to have you go to join these groups, start going to these different meetings and classes and workshops to start liking or getting familiar with what you like. And then you're going to get next steps after that. And I say it's unsexy because people really are expecting, the angel came down from the mountaintop and then told me, Candace, you're supposed to do this, 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 and this. When a lot of times it's more like breadcrumbs, like, hey, I'm just going to show you this one image or this one knowing. You just do the one little bit that you receive and the rest will unfold at a natural pace. So it doesn't happen often that there's something that comes through that a client is ultra resistant or is going to be extremely painful. Most of the time, people come to me when they're already in that pain, if that makes sense.
That makes absolute sense. Well,
perfect.
Hence the desperation of the tell me what to do.
Exactly, right? But that's good.
Right.
That means that you start paying attention. So thank you so much for your call, Loriana. I see I have another call waiting.
Great.
But if you need more information or more guidance, please reach out to me on Facebook or via email or on my website.
Okay, thank you so much, Candace.
You're welcome. Okay. I'm ready for the second call. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, this is Candace.
Hi.
What's your name?
Hi, this is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Hi, good. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call, Candace.
No problem. What's up?
I have a question about manifesting. I really feel like I'm in front of a situation that I manifest quite often. And I had definitely gotten like hits about like, maybe this is not for you, beware, my beware hits, which I bypassed. And I didn't listen to. And so at present moment, I'm getting message, I believe, from Spirit that says that I am needed as a helper in this situation. But like I say, it's something that I manifest all the time, and so it's like a difficult situation. So I kind of want to know, where do I go from here? Do I go back to the original hit of this was not for you, but now I'm getting a new one that says you could help in this situation?
That's so great. So let me just say, when I was in my government job, I would go, oh my God, what did I do in a past life to deserve this some days, right? Where it was like I was getting the hit, like, it was so weird. I would pray often, like, just show me when I'm ready to leave. And I was like, I think I'm ready to leave. And other psychics would say, no, you're not ready to leave. And that I wouldn't just listen to what they had to say, but there was this feeling like, yeah, they're right. But this wasn't the highest and best situation for me. And I feel the reason why I'm mentioning that is it's a parallel where sometimes you're put into situations not because you're a bad person or because you ignored your intuition or what have you, but because you really are of service. Sometimes, too, what can happen is if you had listened to your first hit of, no, I don't want to do this, you would have bypassed it totally fine, completely. But now that you're in there might be someone where Spirit is bringing you the people that you need to heal in a different way. So you can't avoid your soul mission or your soul purpose. So for you, I would suggest it's what Spirit's telling me specifically is don't take it to a blame place, like, oh, I should have listened. I'm here. I am in the situation. I hate it. This always happens. Just come out of that and just accept, well, I'm here now. And if your guidance has shifted and changed to, well, now I have to be here and I have to help people, just own and honor it. It's fine without blame. And the second thing that Spirit is showing me is get really clear in your intentions, because we can hold the space of healing. We can help other people in a variety of ways. And so if you feel like you're continually put in these stressful situations where you're helping everyone, but you're getting drained yourself, that means you're not being clear with the universe. You get to decide how you want to heal people and help people along, no matter what your career path is. So you have to get really firm with Spirit and say, you know, I'm done with this kind of healing. It's great healing people. It's great being of service and showing up. But this is what I want my experience to be. This is what I want to receive in return. And really start holding that vibration and imagining not just giving to other people, but receiving in a way that uplifts you, if that makes sense.
Great. Yes, I can appreciate that for sure.
Right. So I just want to recap. It's let go of blame and be really, really clear about what you would like to experience. I feel like whatever the situation is, it's going to clear itself up in a short amount of time. And well, to me, it seems short. Just it seems like a couple of months, and then you'll be given an opportunity to get either completely out or change how things are working within the situation that you're in. So hang in there, and really, again, it's repeating, but it's so clear, loud as a bell for me. Let go of blame. So no one's to blame for the situation. Just kind of deal with it with grace and move on. So you don't have to go back to this. You don't have to keep doing that. That's just a lie that's coming from some subconscious belief in your vibration of, oh, this happened to me because it has to happen to me like this. Like, nope, that's not true. Just get more clear about, I want to experience something else now. And Spirit will totally hook you up with a different type of a situation.
Great. I really appreciate your help, Candace.
Not a problem, Jessica. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So while we're waiting for another call, and those are great conversations, what I liked that people said is they're hearing things and they're resonating with them, which is an intuitive hit. That's a sign that, oh, that's my truth too. I'm really relating to something that Candace has said or that you heard from one of our callers today. And really trust and honor that. And similarly, if you hear something from me and it's like nails on a chalkboard where you're like, nope, I don't believe that, great, honor that too. But just recognize that sometimes when you're being moved through energy and you're breaking through the things that have been holding you back, you will experience a great level of anger or resistance. And that's so weird. I'm not quite sure why that happens, but then it's like kind of like, okay, I understand that now. So until we get our next caller, I do want to go a little bit to some signs about how to recognize and understand intuition. And the first step to really recognizing and understanding intuition is being present in your physical body. You really have to be mindful of how you feel. And this is such an easy exercise, a test that you can do right now, wherever you're at. But the next person that you are talking to or speaking with, whether it's in person or by phone, as they're speaking to you, just get really present and scan yourself from head to toe with how you feel with what they're saying. And you're going to notice that certain people, when they talk to you, it feels really good. It's like it gives you energy. You feel really motivated. You feel really present. Other people, they talk to you and you might start getting stomach aches, or you might feel yourself start to tighten up. And that's just because something in your intuition, something in your vibration is responding to something in their energy. So it's speaking on an energetic vibration. Everyone is so different. We're all unique, like snowflakes, right? And the reason why I mention that is because sometimes people will think, well, if I was really intuitive and if I was really psychic, I would see things. My strongest gift of receiving intuitive information is feeling information. I feel and I know it. So this is why for years and years and years, I didn't know that I was any type of an intuitive or psychic, because I didn't see dead people. I felt them, and there was no one around to tell me what I was feeling. I just felt and I knew. It was really weird. It's not cool to say I feel dead people, not as cool as I see dead people. So the ways that we receive intuitive guidance is you might see it with your eyeballs, you might see it in your mind's eye, it might be a fleeting image, it might be like a movie. You might, again, memory is very powerful with intuition. I see symbolically when I see now. So that means I don't see literal objects or things, but I might see symbols that represent objects or things. And again, hearing information, and for a long time I was really into Sylvia Brown. And she used to say, and Sylvia Brown, for those who don't know, she's passed now, but she was also a psychic medium who got really famous being on the Montel Williams show, and she wrote a lot of books about soul purpose. And she would say when she heard guidance from spirit that it sounded high-pitched, like a chipmunk voice. So for years, I waited to hear the chipmunk voice so I would know that I was really talking to spirit. And then one day it happened. And then I realized that it was my headphones from my iPod was playing music, and it was just further away from my ear. And I wasn't really hearing a chipmunk voice. It was just the music was far away. And it was really crushing and devastating because I so badly wanted to hear. Well, the primary way that I hear from spirit when I hear guidance is I hear it in my mind. It's almost like talking to myself, but the way the voice sounds, there's no tone to it. It sounds a little different from my voice in my head, which is a popular way that many people hear guidance from spirit, their higher self and their spirit guides. And when going back to feeling information, what spirit just popped into my head, I literally mean you will feel information in your physical body. I don't mean like some esoteric woo-woo feeling, though that can happen too, but you will literally get a physical sensation. So some of the exercises that I send out to my clients, and if you're on my mailing list, you can join my mailing list at www.candicethomasintuitive.com. I actually have a link to intuition versus imagination, a free 45-minute class where it goes through some exercises where you can experience this yourself, but you actually get a physical sensation in your body when you are consciously connecting with spirit, your higher self, and with your guardian angels and other beings of light. So, tuning into other ways, again, I just spoke about you can taste spirit information and you can hear spirit or smell spirit information. And mediumship, connecting with beings on the other side, some people might have a smell. So if there was a person in the family who smoked a certain brand of cigars or cigarettes, suddenly after that person passes, everyone smells the cigarettes or the cigar really strongly. That's one of the intuitive senses, one of the intuitive gifts. And also what's really cool is for my woo-woo people out there, my woo-woo brothers and sisters, when you do certain meditations and connect with higher realms of consciousness, sometimes people will smell flowers. It's a strong floral scent, and that's pretty incredible. That's happened to me twice doing meditations with archangels, which is magical. So one of the hardest gifts to trust when it comes to your intuition is just knowing things. And a lot of analytical, smart people have claircognizance, which is the technical term for clear knowing. And that means you don't see it, you don't hear it, you just know. You just know how things will turn out. You just know. And that's very powerful. Again, going back to my super smart analytical people, what happens is when you try to explain why you just know to someone else, you'll say, it's just common sense. The writing's on the wall. It's just so obvious. Well, it's not obvious to anyone else but you because you're connecting with your spiritual power. So in the exercises of how to manifest, really know that that might be, if that happens to you all the time, you can see the solution for everyone else and not necessarily for yourself. You are getting information for yourself, but it's coming through in a knowing sense. And that's why it can be one of the hardest gifts to trust, because how do you explain, I just know? I know that I know, I just know. And what Spirit's impressing upon my thoughts is at the same time, you just get a wonderful feeling that you know that you're right, which you just have to trust. And that's, it's so great when you're in that sacred space connected with Spirit and using your divine vision and your manifestation power. It just feels, if you're doing it right, you will feel the power of your own divine vision. It will feel like, yes, this is happening right now. Yes, I can achieve this. Yes, this is mine. Simultaneously, though, what some people will experience is a feeling of, oh no, what if I get what I want? Who is this going to hurt? Who is this going to destroy? How is this really going to hold me back? When is the other shoe going to drop? And that has to be acknowledged too. And acknowledged, not dwelled upon. So remember that you're always divinely perfect. You're always connected with your soul grace. And again, your subconscious limiting beliefs, the energy that's been holding you back all this time, is still going to come up in a strong way. So when you begin to recognize, oh, this is from my divine brilliance versus, oh, this is from the fear, it will help you better separate and understand when to take certain actions versus when you're going into self-sabotage mode. And I don't remember if I mentioned this on our call last week, but just a reminder, when you are truly shifting and moving through challenges and circumstances into getting what you truly desire, there is always a moment where you hit resistance. There's always that moment where it seems like my life is going nuclear. Everything's blowing up around me, and I'm not able to do what I want to do, what's going on. And so just please don't give up on yourself. Don't throw your hands up in the air and go, oh, this didn't work. The 5 steps are BS, or whatever tools or techniques you're using. You really have to trust and say, okay, this old energy, this crisis, there's circumstances coming up because I'm truly able to move through the energy right now and keep taking actions, as opposed to moving away from your spiritual guidance. And this is when, if you're unsure about something, you get a clear hit of, no, I need to do this, but then you start feeling a little wobbly in the energy. And that's when you go out and seek other people and ask for their opinions, who they have no business giving you any type of guidance or information about what you should be doing with your life. And we do that quite a lot. So, okay, I'm just tuning into, I don't think that we have any other callers at this time, which is great. So if you would like to work one-on-one with me, if there's something that is a challenge that you've been struggling to overcome, even if your challenge is, I just want to be clear, I'm not even sure how clear I am, I'm not even sure what I want to do, well, that's one of the things that we can work together to move past. So there's more information about how I work with intuitive sessions and intuitive coaching. And again, that's at my website, www.CandiceThomasIntuitive.com. Also, I have a book called The Success Sense, like the Sixth Sense, because you're using your sixth sense to become a success. And that's really geared toward people who want to use their intuition to create career success. And it's especially helpful for entrepreneurs and business owners. And that's what I use with my clients. It kind of summarizes the steps, but goes into more detailed information, and also talks about how to overcome some of the most common challenges that pop up for people when they're really trying to manifest. So the Success Sense can be found on Amazon.com. And for those of you, I know I have a lot of Albuquerque people listening today because I'm located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You can actually pick up a copy at the Crystal Dove Metaphysical Shop. So great. And I'm just tuning into what else to talk about. So again, if you would like to call into the radio station, if there's something you would like me to tune into for you, anything that you're struggling with manifesting, or if you just want to share a story, please give us a call. I'm at 323-203-0815. Again, the number is 323-203-0815. Okay, so while we're waiting for other callers, what popped into my head to talk about was money, the vibration of money, because that's one that most people come to me with help for manifesting. Money, number one, relationships, number two. And so when it comes to the vibration of money, just recognize that everyone is already abundant. So we're already tuned into the vibration of prosperity and abundance. What happens is our subconscious limiting beliefs, our emotional wounds, all other energies we might have picked up from other people or even past lives begins to distort our connection. So what you end up with after you set your intention and then what you end up with looks drastically different than where you began. So when it comes to the money vibration though, because it's so connected to a sense of survival and a sense of purpose in the world for many people, people can associate money with so many things like power, like self-love, like self-worth. And when you attach those type of vibrations to money, if you are already, an example is, if I had more money, thank you, I'm hearing the Locks for any rap music fans out there. The Locks, money, power, respect. First you get the money. I think it was from a movie as well. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the respect. Well, if you really believe that and you're ever in a situation where you're feeling like you're not that powerful, so you're trying to get money to make yourself feel that powerful, it'll always be like a carrot dangling in front of your face where you will never be able to reach or receive the money vibration. You won't be able to experience it and touch it. And that's because you have associated or attached a belief of, I can't be happy until I have money. Well, if you don't have money now and you're saying, I am not happy, then the universe goes, oh, okay, well, there's this rule of I'm not happy without money. She's not happy now, so let's just not have any money then. We're going to keep this rule in play. We're going to keep going with it. So something that you can do if you're having issues with manifesting money and you would like more right now, it's to get very clear on what do you expect money to bring you emotionally? What is it that you think you'll have if you had more money? And really sitting with, okay, how can I invite those feelings and emotions and vibrations into my life right now? Once you do that, then it's like counterintuitive to our brains, but then the money will start flowing to you. Okay. Oh, we have another caller, and I think we have 5 minutes, so I'll take this last call, and then we'll hop off. So, hello, is there someone there? Or not? Okay. No problem. So, another subtle energy trap when it comes to money, and then I will let you go, and I thank everyone for listening today, is your fears around receiving money. And this is something that a lot of people don't consciously think about. But if you have resentment or judgment against people who have money, so rich people are all greedy, rich people are all selfish, rich people don't give a damn about anyone else, you have to really look at what are your fears and judgments around people who don't struggle with money. Because I have noticed consistently that those very judgments or attachments that you have about other people might be actively blocking that money or abundance from reaching you. And it's because something within you is afraid of becoming like that thing that you are judging. And that's a whole other realm. That's a whole other topic. We can go on and on about money. But it's a very powerful one. So I was guided just to share those little nuggets of joy with anyone who might be going through some financial situations right now. So, okay, I just thank everyone who called in today and thank all of you for listening to the show. Again, you're listening to Remotely Unique, which is normally hosted by Mary Baca. My name is Candace Thomas, and I had a really good time talking with manifestation or talking about manifestation with you all today. And again, if you would like more information, please check me out. I'm on Facebook as Candace Thomas Intuitive. You can also check me out on my website, CandaceThomasintuitive.com. And I'm also on Twitter, I believe, Candace.intuitive. And I check all the places, though I haven't been posting to Twitter as much. I do see everything that everyone sends me. So again, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day and stay tuned to more dynamite programming from LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Remotely Unique with Mary Baca, only on LA Talk Radio.